It's a rather short piece, so I thought I might record a little bit extra explaining how I went about creating it. So the first thing I did was start with a basic piano track and just kind of plot out all the chords and all the melodies I'd be using. Nothing set in stone, just kind of experimenting. And once I have the basic composition mapped out, I can bring in Project Sam's Symphobia to mock up with the actual instruments such as the brass and strings, and you kind of get a feeling of how it sounds with an orchestra. Next up, I figured out the percussion using True Strike, followed by LA scoring strings to create the final strings piece. This has all the articulations and programming to make it sound realistic. And then I created the final brass tracks using a breath controller and WIVI 2. And finally I bring it all together. I mentioned earlier that the piano track was only a rough guide, and this is how the original ending sounded. Which is slightly different to how it ended up, and I always improvise and muck about with the notes as I'm going along. And that's how I made that piece, condensed into a minute when it probably took about 2-3 hours. The end!